the theoretical seeking of equality by women to reach the position equal to men in society.
A movement for the empowerment of women and the celebration of the feminine, which is not inherently part of sex, as it is more a gender thing.
It's like whenever a woman is overly proud of being a woman, like is whenever a woman puts being a woman above being a man to be, not an equal thing, equality thing. It's they want a higher feeling from it.
Equality for all genders.
That's when a woman respects herself and sets boundaries for herself. Doesn't give herself up freely.
As I see it, feminism is basically activism for women from the female perspective. It's basically trying to advance female empowerment so that they're as equal as men are, because as we know, we're in a patriarchal society and we're not exactly equal. So it's basically a movement to try to empower them to have equal footing on all levels.
Fighting for equal rights and I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Non-discrimination in all aspects of culture, pretty much.
You might be a bit of a bad person to ask. I guess it's just a movement for women's equal treatment.
I find it relevant that everyone should be judged on job performance and not based on what their gender happens to be. I don't think you should ever lessen standards for job performance, but gender shouldn't play a role at all. So in that way, yeah, it's relevant.
Yes. It's still a long uphill battle. There's still a glass ceiling. Women don't get paid as much as men for the same jobs in a lot of places. Girls that I know from high school, their parents push them into like going to college to be like a teacher or like a nurse or something, is where like if they were their son, they would be like, be like a doctor or a lawyer or a businessman.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the social stigmas, I guess, are male-oriented. Like, men are supposed to be superior, but not all men think like that, but that is the general train of it, and so women are oppressed by men. So there are a lot of strong women that are coming up and do want to become equal or stronger.
Yes, I think it's very relevant because even looking at a globalized society, if we're heading in that direction, which I think we are, the more women are a huge part of it. So if we're changing the ways that we're living, we're changing our norms, we're changing our modes of being and the modes we produce, feminism definitely has to be relevant in order to promote a more pluralistic type of society.
Absolutely. Groups, like female groups who, like pro-woman, I guess? I don't know the proper term for it. Self-respect.
Yes. Well, I think there have been advancements made, obviously. I think there's still a long way to go, just like for minorities, there's still a long ways to go to completely be equal. I think there have been recent acts, but obviously there's still many more things that need to be done.
I'd have to say yes still, because there's obviously a discrepancy versus pay, but other than that, there's not many social instances where it's contextually relevant.
Yeah, of course it's still relevant today, because the equality is not there. It's kind of ridiculous in some aspects. I feel like that there are women who want the privilege of the old ways, but they also want the equality that the new ways promise.
The fucking moon. I wish them the best, as long as it doesn't affect the way certain things work, like infantry service. As long as everyone's held to the same standard, hopefully they get to wherever they want to go.
So since you mentioned
more women are now employed than men in America, and all of my guy friends are really kind of slacking in college, and a lot of my female friends are really getting after it. and trying to get their degrees and doing internships and getting into good schools. So I think that perhaps there'll be some kind of paradigm shift where men will be the ones to be at home more or something, which is already the case. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I hope that at some point there's a time when there's just no difference in expectation between men and women.
Nowhere. Yeah, I really just think. I feel like they may get to the equality level, but I feel like a lot of women drive to, have superiority over men, which does happen. But I feel like in general we might reach a level of equality, but that's about it. And that's where it should be.
In the next 10 years, it will still be tumultuous, especially in the U.S. because of the large reaction due to the rise of the new right in the 80s. But once we can get past that gender barrier and fully break it down, then I think there's a lot of hope in transformation.
And would you identify personally as a feminist?
Probably nowhere. About as far
My
as it is
respect
now.
is out the window.
Just accomplishing what it set out to do, and have women be equal in all formats. And that's where I see it going in the future. I hope it doesn't take a turn and try to set out to be something more.
I hope it gets spread across the third world countries, really. I mean, United States, Western Europe, they don't really have a problem with feminism, but in other countries, Egypt, stuff like that, they're getting raped every day and can't do anything about it. So I think that's where the direction should be, other than first world countries.
I don't know. I really don't know what the feminist movement can do to further their cause. I mean, I guess just education, just trying to educate the public on the plight, and not necessarily try not to polarize people, but just try and gain a general acceptance and understanding. Is the best that it can be hoped for.
Absolutely not.
Yes, I don't even know what to think about that one.
No, I wouldn't.
Being that I'm not a woman, no, I wouldn't classify myself as an actual feminist, but I do believe in the movement and support it.
No.
I wouldn't really consider myself a feminist. I wouldn't consider myself much of